Hi guys, welcome back to my travel corner, and today you've joined me at Andover bus station as I make my way around the area to find all the boundary stops within the Andover ticket zone. It's an interesting one, and already I'm running into problems because one of the buses, I missed a bus. It was due at 10:48 at the railway station, and the next one's not for another 3 hours. So yeah, I'm in a bit of a pickle at the moment. So already in a bit of a pickle, and we've not even started the video. So we're just gonna wait for the next bus. I've just got off the Activate, so I'm not gonna go back the way I came. But if I did get the Activate, it would probably seal my fate. And then we'll just... No, I just can't believe this. The fives really are that infrequent. So I guess the next one I'll be getting will be the 76. Will be the first one. I get this one due in 18 minutes. And that's got a boundary stop. It's making its way to Basingstoke. And there's a bus stop here as well. But join me back in a bit, and I will be on that 76, making my way to the first of the 4 boundary stops in the Andover ticket zone. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me at the back of the 76, and we're just making our way to the first of the 4 boundary stops in the Andover ticket zone. Now, just a bit of an update. So, one of my friends from church lives here in Andover, and I've just spoken to him, and he is hopefully be willing to give me a lift back from one of the boundary stops back to the bus station. And if he is able to, it means I wouldn't have to wait 2.5 hours for a bus. Now, this bus, the 76, ultimately goes all the way to Basingstoke. I've been on this bus before, and I've done end-to-end, but going the other way, I've actually done it in both directions. I've done the 76.
The next stop is Churchill Way.
And I've done the 76 in each direction, end to end. And just as you may have heard, Amy does the next stop announcements, which is fantastic, because she then tells you where the boundary stops are, which is critical for this bus. Because yeah, it does have a boundary stop. Serves as the Andover, and there's one for Basingstoke as well, but that's for another video. But join me back in a bit, and I'll see you at the first of the 4 boundary stops of the Andover ticket zone. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me now at Pisa Cottages. Looks really rather peaceful from over there. But not only am I in the middle of nowhere, this is also the Andover ticket zone boundary stop for the 76 that is bound for Basingstoke. And yeah, as I mentioned just a moment ago, I am in the middle of nowhere. I mean, what is it with these boundary stops literally doing that? I mean, it's bad enough with the 37, but this one, you bear me a moment, I just need to cross the road. Andover, that's a farm, and I'm right by the cottages. So I've just got to try and work out when the next 76 is to go back to the bus station. Oh, this is going to be fun. These are quite infrequent. But I'm the other side now. and Andover Down Farm. Wow, I mean, look at this place. It's beautiful and all that, but yeah, it's really quite out there. But join me back in a bit as I take you back to the bus station as we find the next of the Andover boundary stops. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. So just join me at the middle of another 76. We're going to make our way back to the bus station, and we're going to be just having a look at the next of the boundary stops. We've got 3 more buses left to catch, and the next 5 is outrageous because I missed one. There's 4 5s in a day. Speaking of 4 5s, that's 20, and one of them is boundary stops. He's Picket 20. But that's for later on in this video. Well, not much later on. But with the 5, there's only 4 of them running a day, so the gap between the first and the second of them is 3 hours. The gap between the second and the third is 2.5 hours, and then the gap between the third and the fourth is 35 minutes. It's a bit of how can I put it? It's a bit of a higgledy-piggledy when it comes to that particular bus. And that's got a boundary stop as well. Just so you know, also my friend is going to pick me up. Obviously I have to let him know closer to the time because the next 5 isn't for ages. But at least I now don't have to worry about waiting 2.5 hours for a bus. That's a bit of a relief. But join me back in a bit, and I'll be back at the bus station and I'll explain as to what's going to be happening next. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me now back at Andover bus station. So I've just got off the 76 and that'll be going to Basingstoke. I've got a 5 due in 21 minutes, which is probably what I'm going to do next. And then when I've done that, because if I miss that one, there's not another one for 3 hours. So that'll be the one that that'll be the one that I do next. I'm just going to go back out of the entrance. And then I'll just have to repeat what I'd said. So it's important that I get this 5, because if I miss this one, the next one's not until 3:10. So if I do this one first, because I've already done the 76, so if I do the 5 first, because that's 1:15, do Sunnybank, and then I can come back to the station and then do the other 2. And I think then after I've done that, it makes my life much, much easier if I do the 5 next. Otherwise, as I say, I'm going to be waiting until 3:10 for another one. The activate's gone. I'll be getting that later on in the video. Because at least they're every 20 minutes, so it's not all that bad. And if I've got enough time left over, I may end up doing something a bit extra as well. But join me back in a bit, and I will take you on the next bus, which will be the 5 that goes to Greatly and Thruxton. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me now in the middle of the 5, and I'm just having some interesting conversation with some of the passengers on board this bus, because I don't know the area other. It's just a loop thing. One gentleman's told me that it goes on a loop. And I'm just trying to work out where the boundary stops are. Good job I've got my friend on standby, because I'll just ring him as soon as I finish this clip, well, the next clip. But there are no announcements on this bus, which makes it 10 times harder. So unfortunately that's the way it goes. But yeah, the sooner I think to myself, the sooner I get this bus out of the way, the better. So from Andover, it's 7:05, and 7:05 if it's a school day, 7:45, 8:45, 10, 1, which is this one, and 3:10. That's from the bus station of Andover. But I'm going to make this one quick because I don't think the boundary stop's too far away. And then after that, we'll have a look at the other ones as well. See you in a bit, guys, at Sunnybank. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me outside Sunnybank, and this is the Andover ticket zone boundary stop for the 5s. Now, it just comes to show that once again I am right in the middle of nowhere in the area of Monkston, and I just always end up in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not too familiar with the area either, so I'm really thankful that there was a lady on board that helped me get to where I was, because if she wasn't on that bus, well, yeah, I wouldn't have had a clue. You know, I would have been lost on the bus. So kudos to the lady, and thank you for helping me get to one of the boundary stops. Well, I'm certainly going to be needing someone to come and pick me up, because, well, there's no clear indication. No bus stops here either, no bus shelter, and I've literally got dropped off where there was no pavement. I nearly came into contact with stinging nettles as well. It just comes to show as to what happens when you're plonked right in the middle of nowhere. But join me back in a bit, as something will happen. I will get back to the bus station eventually. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. Oh, what a palaver that was all about. So I'm now in the back of the car of two really good friends of mine, Terry and Linda Marston.
Hello.
Oh yeah. You're driving, but there you go. No hands.
No. So I'm just relieved I was able to call on you both, because if it wasn't for the car, I would have been stuck in Sunnybank for 3 hours.
Lovely.
In the middle of nowhere. And it's the same deal with Chorlton Lane as you come up to Petersfield, and I mentioned that before. It's bad enough having to wait in the middle of nowhere for a bus for an hour, let alone 3. So so we're just getting dropped back to the bus station now, and I've still got 2 more buses left to get, so I'll do the 75 and the Activate. But at least with that in tow, we can now say that I'm safely with some friends.
Ooh, that's safe.
Yeah, I trust you both.
Thank you.
So anyway, join me back in a bit, and I'll be back at the bus station, and I'll be able to keep you updated with what's going on. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me at the middle of a 75, and once again, seeing that this bus came from Winchester, we're going back up to Winchester, there are no next stop announcements, which is very naughty in the sense of this bus serves a critical stop along along the line, and that would be then the one that I'm going to be getting off at Picket 20, which is the Andover ticket zone boundary stop for this bus. And then there's just one more left to go after that. I'm just so glad I got the 5 out of the way. But I'm also just as relieved that I was able to call on Terry and Linda for help, because if it wasn't Terry and Linda, I would have been stuck. I still would be stuck at Sunnybank. Speaking of which, they bought me some bits because I bought lunch and made up a lunch and left it at home. And yeah, that was very clever. So they've got me some bits, and then that'll be enough to hold me over until I get home. When that will be, I don't know. I mean, we're nearly 10 to 3 now, and it's really rather interesting how the day's been shaping up so far. But I do enjoy it here in Andover, so I definitely will make another visit of this place, make a day of it, and hopefully I'll be able to do something more with Terry and Linda. But join me back in a bit, and I will take you through the next boundary stop of Picket 20 and see what's there to offer at that point. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me now at Picket 20, which is the Andover ticket zone boundary stop for the 75s going to Winchester. And once again, there were no announcements, so the driver had to tell me when to come off. But that's the road over there, Picket 20. Just waiting to cross. These boundary stops are well known for putting me in the middle of nowhere. Just waiting for a good time to cross. And yeah, just 2 more cars. One. Oh, you're going to let me cross? Oh, thank you. And then what will happen now is I'll get a 75 back to the bus station, because at least they're more frequent than the 5s. 75s are every hour. And then I can then finish off on the Activate. That bus stops for the 76. I might then get... That's a 76. And yeah, they're supposed to be 75. I wonder if the 76 comes down here on the way back. We'll soon find out. But join me back in a bit as I'm on the next bus and I make my way back to the bus station. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me at the back of another 75. We're making our way into Andover, and finally we've got some announcements on a bus that came from Winchester. So you don't always have them, and particularly when it serves a critical bus stop. And by critical I mean it's a boundary stop. Yeah, you need them, because not only does this serve a boundary stop on the Andover side of things, but there's also one in Winchester as well. So they definitely need them. This bus definitely needs the announcements. But then so does the 76s, and the one that I saw a little while ago didn't have them, but the one I was on did have them. They go to Basingstoke. But luckily I've only got one boundary stop left to find, and that is the one on the Activate. And then after that, because I've purposely left that one for last because that calls at the railway station. And then with that, I can then just hop off and then get on the train back home. Well, at least that's what my plan is anyway. But we all know what it's like on Darren's Corner. Plans can change.
To Andover.
Plans can change at the click of a finger. But join me back in a bit.
Next stop is Adams Way.
Join me back in a bit, and I will take you on another venture around the bus station, because that's where I'll end up, and then we'll chase down the last of the 4 boundary stops. It's hard to imagine that there's 4 of them. Mind you, I spent an hour with Terry and Linda, which was really nice, and seen them for ages. But I definitely do want to spend time with them when I next come up. I do plan to make a whole day out of Andover. And I'm going to end this video in the very same place where I started my train projects in 2011. So I did something for Southern, and I did something for SWR when it was Southwest Trains at the time. But I do have something exciting. I do have something exciting coming up on this channel, and I'll explain more about that on the trains. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys, and it's off one bus and straight onto another. So I just got off at 75 and I went straight onto the Activate. Now, I got confused a bit earlier because I thought this was going to be a 27, so it said 27 to Salisbury. And they've now turned into the Activate, which is what it was meant to be. And apparently there's supposed to be announcements on this bus, and I haven't come across any. But yeah, this bus goes to Salisbury. So it's going to be another one of those where, unless it's been another one of those where I'm going to be left guessing as to where I need to come off. Right, I know that the boundary stop is Weyhill. So I just need to know how far it is. But also, what I do plan to do after this, oh there we go. Got to stay by. There we go, now we've got announcements. So it will tell you where to come off. But this tells you where. This is interesting. So it tells you where. It gives you the names of the stops, but they don't tell you which ones are the boundary stops. So they don't list the boundary stops. They do if you're coming out of a critical area like Portsmouth or Southampton, that's different. But we'll see what happens with this one. But yeah, I'm getting off at Weyhill. But join me back in a bit as I make my way up to that boundary stop, and then I can tell you what happens next. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me now at Weyhill service station, which is the Andover Ticket Zone boundary stop for the Activate buses. Wish me luck as I try and cross this road because there's a bit of a gap. And I say wish me luck because also I don't see the other bus stop in sight. So now I've got to try and traverse my way over. Luckily, these buses are every 20 minutes. Some of them are run by Stagecoach and the others are run by Salisbury Reds. How I'm going to get over this road, goodness knows. I see something over there, so I think this will be my time to cross. I'm just hoping some cars will let me cross, which I highly doubt they will. Right, I'm over. And I'm going back to Andover. Because this time I'm going to come off at the railway station and I see a bus. Oh, you've got to go a bit further up. It's what happens when you don't see any bus signs. But that's the bus stop I got off. But all I can do is carry on. Join me back in a bit and I will be on the back of another Activate and I'll make my way to the railway station this time. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me on the front of another Activate bus and that is now all the boundary stops ticked off and visited in the Andover ticket stop. The one thing that I noticed, and I think I might have misheard it, but I could have sworn that Amy had said Andover rather than Andover. Well, many years ago, and I've done it a couple of times today, I actually misspelt Andover and put Andover instead. So that happens. I was exactly the same in Moulscombe as well, but that's another story. But we're just making our way back to Andover, and I'm just going to make my way. Yeah, I'm going to come off at the railway station this time, because now that I've done the boundary stops, I can now just start to focus about making my way back home and see how that all comes about. We're right by the motorway as well, which is interesting. I think, if I remember rightly, this bus joins the motorway, Gregory's Corner. Let's just come up as. So some of these buses are run by Stagecoach, like this one, and other buses are run by Salisbury Reds, and these give you the boundary stops if Amy announces them, but they don't if it's the Salisbury Reds. Just made our way back into Andover now. It's amazing, you can actually go to Exeter from here. It's a bit of a way away, but it's definitely something I'd want to try and do. Probably not on the bus, mind you, train maybe, but bus, well, yeah, I'm not too sure. But it'd be a good thing to do as a part of a challenge, a bus challenge, so do stay tuned for that, if I do decide to do that, which I might do. But join me back in a bit as we get back to the railway station, and then I'll be able to sort of think about wrapping things up. See you in a bit, guys. Welcome back, guys. You've just joined me back at Andover railway station, and this is where I wrap things up. So I'm very excited to be able to go on this journey where I've looked at all the boundary stops in the Andover ticket zone. I'm quite amazed by the location of some of them, and nearly all of them, I say practically all of them, were literally in the middle of nowhere. I think that's what the boundaries do in this sort of series, but it's important that I do this sort of video because, you know, if you're on a specific day ticket and you're new to the, if you're new to the area and you're on a specific day ticket, you won't know where to come off, because not all buses have announcements. I know Winchester ones mainly don't. I was surprised when the 75, the one that I got on, did have them. which I was pleasantly surprised about because, as I say, they normally don't have them on the Winchester buses. But we can now say that that's another chapter written in Darren's Corner, talking about my YouTube channel like it's a book. Well, you can call it a book if you will, because every video serves as a chapter that I'm just yearning to complete each time. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.